money from options. I mean, option buying. Option selling is good. It has 66 win rate here. I want to enter this sales, but I'm done for the day. So mostly I won't. Anyway, I'll just start today's topic. Today we'll be discussing about liquidity, basic external liquidity, because none of you guys actually understand what. Uh, Mock, you didn't understand anything off of that? What do you call the one set of a life, or at least something? Sorry. Okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. All right. I'll just go through the basics again so that you guys can understand it. I'll not try to confuse you, but it is definitely confusing. So first of all, set your time to UTC -4 New York so that it's easier to understand for everybody out there. The first session starts from 2 to 5, which is the London. Okay. The next session, which is what do you call the AM session, which is when is that? It's like 9 to 12. Oh yeah, I forgot. I've not been using it. Yeah, 9:30 to 12. Perfect, Kunal. And what is the next session? PM session. Oh no, sorry, lunch rate. Now stop using those names. Lunch rate is from 12 to all the way 1:30, which is 13:30. Let's just say. Okay, and PM session is from 13:30, which is 1:30 p.m. all the way to 4 o'clock. All right. So everyone must actually remember these things. Okay. This is the only time where the liquidity is going to be accumulated, where these soft lows are going to be formed, and essentially 90% of the time these durations hold the liquidity. Rest all is essentially just the movement, right? The market just moves due to influx of volatility, but these things, they are liquidity accumulation points, right? So let's just say today, what is this? 1:30, right? This is 1:30 New York local time. What is 1:30? It's around lunch rate and PM session, right? So you draw the highest point from 12 to 1:30. From 12 o'clock to 1:30, this is the highest point. Only from 12 o'clock to 1:30. What happened? The liquidity has been swept during which time? 5 o'clock, which is out of the entire box, which means what? This is the liquidity generating move, and here all the buy stops have been swept. Buy stops swept. All right. And then you can enter off of the market structure shift, but since it's not our time, you can just use it as a reference, right? After the buy stops have been swept. It is not always this easy. It's actually pretty straightforward this day. So just the same thing. What is this? 11:50. 11:50 is what? AM session, right? 9:30 to 12. 11:50 comes under AM session. So in all the AM session, the entire duration of AM session, this is the lowest point, right? So this has been swept during what? Asia. What do? You wait for London session, and you want the lowest point of Asia to be swept also, so that you can get a good what do you call that, a reference. You don't enter directly off of those MSS because London is essentially a manipulating day, and yeah, the sell side has been swept, and you wait for a good MSS in the 1 minute and 5 minute fractals. I've actually entered off of this, I think around here. I just entered off 50%, and luckily my stop loss didn't touch around 50 pips, and we caught this trade today. So that's how it basically works. So if I were to give you an example, it would be very good. This particular day would be a very good example, right? So yeah, almost all the people entered because it's too easy only for this particular day. And when you go to the other days, it's not really that easy. You have to find the external liquidity before you start anything. Okay. So where's the external liquidity if you just randomly swipe over the screen, right? I would say the external liquidity is this and this, right? So that's the reason we didn't take any trades during the Friday. No, Monday. We didn't find any setups. Obviously, this is a liquidity sweep, but look at this candle, right? This is a new candle, and I don't want to go against the trend. But this day, the sell side liquidity has been swept. There's no liquidity here. This is the final liquidity, right? So that's the reason for buys today. It's a very good buy, but yeah, it's still against the trend, so it has its risks, but we still took it, and yeah, that's how we make it. So, Mok, what did you understand through this? Because yeah, it's definitely complicated, but this is the simplest way to join. Hmm. Yeah. Only use the 15-minute time frame to mark out the liquidities, okay? Because in 15-minute time frame you'll actually be able to observe where the liquidities are. See, obviously for a newborn baby also, he would know that this is the lowest low during all this time, and this is the highest high, right? We only trade during London and New York. You don't watch anything else. Only London and New York. What happened here? The sell side liquidity has been swept, and it just it went up. I don't care if the I don't care if the price goes all the way to the buy side liquidity, but still we can make pretty good RR with this, right? So even with this example, let's just take this. That's the reason you have to consider the fractals, right? So this is the highest high and lowest low of this particular day. What happened in Asia? The liquidity has been swept, and it moved very fast, and it went all the way to the Asian high. It did not take the external liquidity. So what did I do? I did not trade that day. It's that simple, right? So another example, this is the liquidity, and this is the liquidity for this particular day, which is Wednesday. So Wednesday, what happened? The AM session, what do you call this? The Asia session, sell side liquidity hasn't been swept, and it has been swept during what? During the AM session, which is what 6:30 in India, right? So at around 7 o'clock, I think the sell side liquidity has been swept. This particular sell side liquidity, which is the Asian liquidity as well. So this liquidity has been swept during the AM session. So we take the trade during the AM session. There is a 5-minute market structure shift over here. You can still target 1:2, right? So it's pretty much that simple. But yeah, again, you need to understand the daily bias, right? Where the market is headed, why the market is headed to that direction, etc. And when you see this, obviously this is the buy side liquidity, and this would be the sell side liquidity. What happened here? Asian lows did not get swept, so I didn't enter. But finally here, the these buy side has been swept, so I entered off of 1 minute MSS. I just made around 1:1.5 around this, and I exited because obviously it is against the trend. You don't target against the trend trades, okay? That's the thing. Even with this, where do you see the liquidity exists? I see that this is the buy side and this is the sell side. But the sell side is too fast, right? You can't enter buys during such days because it's basically stupid if you enter buys. The reaction was too hard, so we just left it out. We didn't enter the trade. Mm, yeah, this is a perfect example of turtle soup. This is the sell side and this is the buy side liquidity. Once the buy side liquidity has been swept, you can still enter shorts off of the fair value gap or whatever the optimal entry is. You can target the sell side. I wouldn't target this much because it's obviously at 250 pips. I would be satisfied with like 155, something like that. It's all about R. So that's the basic idea, Mok. If you have any doubts, you can ask me because no matter how much I tell, it won't make sense unless you apply it on your charts, right? So that's the thing. Mm, yeah. For that, you need to understand daily bias. Again, today is a perfect example. Let me just go through that again. So, like I said, I gave you some particular times, right? What is the buy side and what is the sell side? You open the charts during pre-London. It's essentially don't open your trading view till 11 o'clock Indian time. 11 o'clock Indian time, don't open the trading view because even if you open it, once you watch the charts, your ideas will be, manipulative, right? You will watch this liquidity, that liquidity, but it won't be swept. And during Asia, some random shit happens. You won't understand anything. No one understand anything until or unless the in the London session, you will find the good things. So, like I said, I would say this is the buy side liquidity in the 15-minute time frame. Go to the 15-minute. Where would retailers put the stop loss if they would have entered a sell here during Asia? Obviously here, right? Because they consider this as a resistance zone. There is no resistance. Okay, it's essentially a place where market makes the retailers put the stop loss at. So they think that this is some magic spot, and it will never get broken. It will definitely get broken, right? Because there are equal highs, and obviously retailers have this stop loss here. Even this, it is a sharp point where buyers would place the stop loss here, right? What would the London session do? It would come there, it would sweep the Asian high, Asian lows, this AM session low, and even second low can be cleared out before it rapid moves up, essentially, right? So that's the thing I want you guys to understand. The price basically runs on liquidity. The only thing you need to do is find where the liquidity exists, right? So yeah, that's the thing. You have to use the timings that I've given you, the timings which are present in the one setup for life video. You have to use that. Without that, it won't make any sense. You have to watch that, I think, like 5 6 times, man. Kunal, how many times did you watch the video in the starting? Yeah, see, or then you actually understood, right, Kunal, where the liquidity is, where the points are. Without watching that as many times, you won't understand anything. What did you expect? This is a movie or what? It's not supposed to be binge watched. You have to watch it carefully, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's the thing, Mock. If you don't watch the video, no matter how much I explain you, you will still have those doubts, which are pretty silly. And you won't even understand what I'm talking about, because obviously anyone would put their stop loss here, but that I would know, you wouldn't know. You have to follow a specific pattern, right? You have to open the charts at 11 o'clock, or else everything will be really hazy, and these things. You can trade only like 2 hours per day. That's more than enough. If you That's the thing. You have to trade less to make more. Don't be on the charts continuously over the months and all that. It's of no use. Anyway, Kunal, I'll just explain you what we are doing. I'll just give you a brief. Today also, you had the same idea, right? I mean, this is based off one setup for life only, obviously. It's a pretty good entry, I would say. I mean, bad luck for the brokers, obviously. It has been swept. Yeah, it's a bad thing. Mm, the thing that we are using, Kunal, me and Suraj, are let's just say, out of experience, I'm sure that you will also be able to do it because it's pretty easy. The one setup for life gives you specific liquidity points, right? The external liquidity points. You have to know, because sometimes you remember during Asia we used to mark these lows, these highs also, right? Because it's an AM session or PM session, these stupid highs also, right? Now we don't mark those. We mark directly this one, right? It is 10 o'clock. It is the highest liquidity. You don't mark any of these, because if I was a retailer, I would place my stops only here. I wouldn't place the stops between here and that. And definitely, what is this? This is 5:30, so you have to actually consider half an hour here and there. So this is the London sell side liquidity, and this is the least, right? This is the lowest point, and this is the highest point. That's it. If the price does not tap into either one of those, it's your day off, essentially. So there's no need to trade every single day, right? The same thing happened here, and yeah, Because of the daylight saving mode, it has actually has to open 1 hour before, but all the moves are being delivered like 1 hour late. So you have to keep in mind that also. Now 11:30 in India is essentially like 12:30 in December. So that's the thing. 1 hour that side it has shifted, not the left side. So that's the one. And let's just see. So this is the liquidity point, Kunal. So first you have to recognize which is the external liquidity. All these smaller things, they are essentially internal liquidity points which do not. Uh, it's a waste of time. We can just take A plus setups, right? So again, even here, what do you think the external liquidity is? This and this. In such days, when there is high volatile movement, you don't have to enter buys because there is no market structure shift. And the 1 minute MSS we are not using anymore. I mean, we can use the 1 minute MSS if it's really good. You remember those days when it's essentially like a 1 pip stop loss and 2 pip stop loss. We are not taking those kind of MSS anymore because 90% of the time they'll just fail. Even if they give, they'll give like small RRs. So it's a waste of time. Go with the 5 minute thing, or in the 1 minute if it's really good. Like you have to see it. If it's really that good, then you can enter off of the 1 minute. See, in the 1 minute, I would say this is a very good MSS, right? Not this. This would not be a good MSS, even if the high was here, right? So you have to wait till here and wait for the retracement always, and then you can enter cells. If there is no retracement, you don't need to enter cells, right? You don't need to trade every day. Because in the last 2 weeks we did get the only best setups. We didn't enter any stupid setups and all that. So, but it's still good, right? That's the thing. This is essentially the turtle soup, Kunal. Yeah. So this is the sell side, and I would say this is the buy side because you have to consider this also, right? This is a big order block which has fell down, and I wouldn't say this would be swept because this itself is a liquidity sweep, right? Of this particular point. So I wouldn't say that would be swept. So that's the reason we waited till here and we entered sells in the London. So we always wait for the Asian high also to be swept. It's like a double check, right? So in the London, you can simply enter off of the 1 minute MSS. Not the crazy ones, but at least a good one. You can target 1:2 or the resting liquidity. And another thing we actually found out was you could use trailing stop loss, like seriously use trailing stop loss because wait for one of the MSS to happen and then you can close the trade. After 1:2 or 1:1.5, trail your stop loss to the what do you call the latest MSS, right? And then if it happens, yeah, you have to sacrifice like 0.5 RR, but it's fine. One of the times you can actually get these setups. This Suraj actually entered. I didn't enter because I think the external liquidity is all the way here and here. So I didn't enter that. So here what happened was he directly entered off of the 5 minute break of structure, essentially a 5 minute MSS in the 1 minute time frame. So what he did was he just waited for the MSS, right? So no MSS till like 1:1.4, yeah, 1:4. So that's pretty good. He literally made like 2 RR more just by viewing that. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen, and when it doesn't happen, you essentially lose only 0.5 RR or something like that. So you have to risk that, and it's pretty good, I would say. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good inverse fair value gap. What do you think? But today we already traded, so I think Suraj is definitely going to take this for sure. He's been messaging me since morning that the external liquidity will be swept. So yeah, let's just apply the same knowledge of what we have learned today in this setup. This is a distribution zone. First of all, if you obviously Kunal and I know what distribution is. If you guys don't know what distribution is, you have to watch the ICT's video. Okay, so this is the distribution zone, Kunal. Exactly good tap in, and the external liquidity is all the way only here. So obviously it is swept, and let's see, the 4 hour fair value gap has been filled. I can't think of a better entry than this. But still, I wouldn't enter this trade. One trade per day. I mean, if it's a winner. So I think Suraj would have entered directly off of this. I think. No, he would wait for the retracement. It's like too high. Maybe here. and then he would target something like this. I don't think there will be an entry for him today. Just texting him. So that's the thing, Mock. If you have any doubts, you can ask, and yeah, I'll try to help you. Sorry? All right. Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's better. Just go through the videos, and then we can see what's gonna happen next. All right? Okay then. If you guys understood this basic 15-minute liquidity, it's not basic. I would say it's a bit advanced only. Kunal, if you have any doubts, you can ask, or else we can see it in tomorrow's session. All right. Okay. Okay then. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Bye, Kunal. Bye, guys.